Welcome to the Floyd Memorial Library podcast, where we sit down with the people who give shape, texture, and voice to life on the North Fork of Long Island. Some are rooted here by generations, others arrived by chance or choice, but all carry with them a piece of the story. We talk about what's changing, what's worth holding on to, and the currents of history, both quiet and loud, that run through this place. I'm your host, Christopher Bianchi, and for episode 172, we sit down with Stacey Krumenacker, a national board-certified health and wellness coach, Pilates and yoga instructor. Stacey has dedicated her career to helping others cultivate balance, strength, and mindfulness through movement and holistic wellness practices. In our conversation, Stacey shares her journey from her early inspirations in health and fitness to her arrival on the North Fork and how the community here has shaped her work. We talk about how she's built such a diverse skill set across coaching, Pilates, and yoga, and what drew her specifically to practices like Pilates and barre and ecstatic dance. Stacey also co-hosts Ecstatic Dance East End, a vibrant local event that combines movement, music, and mindfulness in a welcoming, nonjudgmental space. She discusses how community connection and creative expression play a vital role in overall well-being, what a typical class or coaching session with her looks like, and the kinds of transformations she often sees in her clients. Finally, we talk about what keeps Stacey motivated in her own wellness journey and her hopes for the growing health and wellness community here on the North Fork. So I hope you enjoy episode 172 with Stacey Krumenacker. This episode was recorded September 26, 2025. Thank you so much for coming on the Floyd Memorial Library podcast today. It's really great to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And so in the beginning, I'd like to start off with a little bit of your background. If you can share a bit about yourself and where you grew up and what initially inspired your interest in health, wellness, and movement.
Sure. Well, I grew up on Long Island. I grew up in Nassau County in Farmingdale and went to high school there, moved away for university. I went to Boston University. I studied sociology with a minor in Spanish, did my study abroad in Madrid, and my senior year of college, I took yoga as an extracurricular credit back in the late 90s and hadn't been truthfully exercising much in college, unlike high school where I did track and kick line and cheerleading and all these other things, more physical things. And yeah, I really loved these yoga classes that I was taking while I was at university and moved to New York City after graduating and found a yoga studio there called Jivamukti and started going there regularly. Classes were really long back then. They were an hour and 45 minutes. They were very all-encompassing of asana, of movement, but also of chanting, the Sanskrit. I took a Sanskrit course back then, the yoga philosophy, meditation. So it was very comprehensive practice. And I also started volunteering at a place called the Open Center in New York back then. And they had a lot of thought leaders, spiritual leaders who would give talks. So kind of started to become interested in a little bit more of the Buddhist philosophy, Hindu philosophy, that aspect of yoga. After New York, I moved to San Francisco, and I had also been waitressing in organic restaurants in New York. I became vegetarian when I was 15 years old. and was still, when I lived in New York, I'm now a pescatarian, but I was vegetarian vegan in New York. So I sought out communities that were interested in vegetarian food and organic food. But I got really tired of waitressing. So when I moved to San Francisco, I wanted to teach English as a second language. I'd always wanted to be a teacher when I was a kid, kind of forgot about that until then, but loved language. It seemed like a good fit. And when I was in San Francisco, I, of course, continued my yoga practice and found that when I was teaching English as a second language, that I was really resonating with my Japanese students, really making friends with them, spending some time with them outside of work, and decided that I was going to stop over in Japan. I was visiting Thailand with some friends, and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to just stop in Japan and check it out, So then when I went to stop in Japan, I was supposed to be there for 5 days. I changed my ticket to 2 weeks. I changed my ticket to 1 month. I stayed for 3 months, which is one visa in Japan. And my friends in San Francisco just packed up my stuff and I stayed in Japan. So,
wow.
yeah, it was kind of funny. Very, very free back in those days. So in Japan, there were only maybe 3, maximum 4 yoga studios in Tokyo at that time, early 2000s. And one of the studios, a studio opened up right near where I was living. And the woman was from San Francisco. Her husband was Japanese. And I started going there. And she was like, I think you should teach here. I'd already been to India for 3 months, studied yoga in India, did Vipassana meditation in India, which is a 10-day silence meditation. And she felt like I would be a good teacher, a good fit for the studio. So I started out teaching a few free classes and eventually, of course, did my yoga teacher's training, but started teaching yoga in Tokyo alongside teaching English as well. Eventually did some other yoga teacher trainings as well, restorative, yin yoga, did my Reiki, energetic training as well. And yeah, I stayed in Japan for a very long time, almost 14 years of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
A little bit on and off.
Okay.
Towards the end, I would travel during the winter, spent a winter in Mexico, a winter in India, another winter in Australia. While I was in Australia, I did my nutrition consultant course, just kind of for my personal knowledge at first, but later found that that was a great addition to my health and wellness coaching. So yeah, let's see. So getting back to Japan, though. I eventually left Japan after about 14 years and felt like I wanted to make a change from teaching English and teaching yoga. Also, when I had been in India, I fell and broke my wrist. I fractured and dislocated my wrist. And so the yoga practice wasn't working that well in my body anymore. There's a lot of weight bearing, you're on your hands a lot. And having a personal practice, of course, you can avoid being on your hands. You can modify the practice. But going to classes myself, going to trainings, teaching, demoing, it really wasn't suiting me anymore. So when I got back to the States, my friend brought me to a Pilates class, and I started to get really into Pilates. There's not as much weight bearing. It was really working for my body. And then additionally, I came back because I wanted to possibly do a kind of a career shift and get my master's. So I pursued a master's in health and wellness coaching with a concentration in nutrition. And then I sat the board exam. So I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach. Yeah, and that's kind of led me up, I guess, until today.
Okay.
Yeah,
But just to go back a bit,
sure.
I'm curious about your time from San Francisco to making that shift to Japan. What do you think really resonated with you to eventually decide that you wanted to stay there for a certain amount of time and not come back to the US?
That's a great question. Well, Japanese culture, let's see. I really resonate with it, clearly, if I stayed there that long. Some
Yes.
of the things that I like about it are I felt extremely safe. I was probably like mid to late 20s and felt completely safe in the city of Tokyo, really at all times. So, safety, cleanliness, really clean, very polite culture. Yeah, so I felt really, really comfortable there. I was meeting Japanese people, but also other travelers. So when I first moved there, a lot of my friends were other foreigners from other countries. And then as I was able to learn Japanese, it was easier to become friends with more Japanese people. Still, I would say my closest Japanese friends are very proficient in English. That definitely makes it easier. It's a hard language to learn.
Yes.
But yeah, I also, to be honest, I just got to Tokyo and I felt like I was just in a really good flow there. It was really easy to get work as an English teacher. I had this opportunity to teach yoga. I was really having fun. I love to dance, and I was dancing every weekend with these new friends that I met. So yeah, it was feeling like a good fit and a good flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And coming back to, you went to some other different places, but then eventually made your way back to New York. Was it coming back to New York City or eventually making your way out to the North Fork?
I actually came directly to Greenport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I broke my wrist in India, I was still living in Japan, but I came to New York to be with my family and to go to PT, and I needed some help. It was my right wrist. And during that time, I met up with one of my Japanese friends who was living in Brooklyn, and she told me that her friend had opened a restaurant or was opening, I think at that time, a restaurant in Greenport, which was Yuki at Sterling Sake. And she said, "Oh, let's go out there and go say hi." And I love the North Fork. So when I was growing up, my mother was the camp nurse at Peconic Dunes Camp.
Okay.
Yeah, so I spent my summers at least a month each summer at Peconic Dunes Camp, at first as a kid. And then as I got older, I worked in the kitchen until I went to college. But so I had this love of the North Fork, and I was like, what? There's a Japanese restaurant in Greenport? What? Like, yeah, of course I want to go visit. So when I came to visit and met Yuki, I was telling him, oh, when I was in college, I used to live in Montauk and waitress and make money for my undergraduate degree in the summers. And he was kind of, I think, maybe half joking, saying, well, if you ever want to work here, you can. So I remembered that when I was thinking, like, how am I going to move my life after 14 years in Japan back to the States? Where do I want to be? And I thought that this would just be a very short-term thing. It was May. I was like, oh, this will be perfect. I'll be near the water. I love to be near the water. This is what I used to do when I was young. I could do this. It'll be fun. I know about Japanese food. And so I came to Greenport and worked at Sterling Sake. That was my transition back into life in New York. So I still was able to speak Japanese a little bit with Yuki and some of the other staff.
Yes. And what did you think of the area? Because it was a big gap from when you were going. That was in high school or early
Yeah.
on of the North Fork, and had it changed, or just coming back out here and seeing the area? Then, what did you think of it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the main things that I really love about the North Fork is really the nature. So that aspect, of course, is more or less the same, right? Going to the beautiful beaches and being near the water. But yeah, the town is clearly more developed than it
Hmm.
was back then. And as someone who has lived in a lot of cities, although I moved from Tokyo to a place called Kamakura, so my last 8 years in Japan, I lived by the beach. It was still more of a city on the beach, but it definitely had more of a small town feel. So I had already left that kind of urban life a while ago. But I thought that Greenport was kind of a good balance. That the fact that it had been built up a little bit was appealing to me. But then being near the water, it seemed like a good fit. Also, being from Farmingdale, I could just get on the train and take the Ronkonkoma line to Farmingdale. My grandparents were still alive then, and my dad lives there. And then my sister was on the Upper East Side, so I could jump on the jitney, would drop me off right down the block from my sister's. It was like, wow, okay, this is feeling like a good fit for me to transition, be somewhat close to family, still have the Japanese connection, still eat
Hmm.
delicious Japanese food every day.
Yes,
Yeah.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, you said you're a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, and you're a Pilates and yoga instructor, and a nutrition consultant. Uh, you mentioned how some of these you've uh, built up over time, but did you feel like you would have this wide range of skills starting from your time in Japan and coming here today, just being able to offer these different tools for people?
Um, Probably not, to be honest. I really can see myself as a teacher, teaching language and teaching yoga. And Pilates was also a very good fit for that. But in terms of the health and wellness coaching, I went to visit the university where I chose to get my degree, which is the Maryland University of Integrative Health. And I thought that I would do health promotion as my master's because it's very similar to teaching. You're educating people about health. And I talked to the people at the health and wellness coaching booth, and they started describing coaching to me. And I thought, I think I want to learn a new skill besides educating people. And the idea behind coaching, it's kind of similar to the idea of give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. With coaching, you develop skills where you are trying to support your client to learn how to make good decisions on their own, to motivate them, to boost their commitment, their self-awareness, so that they realize that they can do it on their own. You also learn skills on how to kind of co-create plans, because just telling someone to do something, as we know, doesn't always work, right?
Hmm.
It's like we could tell everyone that smoking's no good, but people still smoke.
Yes.
So it's making people feel autonomous, having them involved in their own life plan, their own health and wellness plan is a lot about how coaching works, right? And then you
Hmm.
offer that accountability, because we also know that when people tell someone else they're going to do something, they have a higher likelihood of actually doing it.
Hmm.
So I was learning all of this about coaching, and I just thought, yeah, I think I want to pursue this. This sounds like a new skill that would be really quite valuable.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what drew you to Pilates and barre specifically, and what benefits do you find these methods offer your clients?
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, the Pilates, I was drawn to that because I didn't have to do weight bearing. I guess barre as well. I started learning barre just as a student, and I liked the way it felt in my body. So I think that was the main appeal. Pilates, like yoga, is also a mind-body practice. So it's one of the core principles is breath. So you're focused, you're concentrating. I like practices like that bring you into the moment, into the present moment, linking your mind and your body. So it seemed like a good fit, a natural progression from my yoga practice. And then in terms of benefits, of course, we know the basic benefits like flexibility and strength. But there's also, as I mentioned, the breath, which helps to slow down the nervous system. So it's very relaxing to do these type of practices. There's a social element to classes and group classes, which is quite fun. And also, I see the Pilates practice as a preventative health practice, right? We're going to try to keep our bodies strong and functional for the long haul. And perhaps if we were to slip, we might be able to catch ourselves. We might be able to pull into our core and not fall, right? Yes. Bone density, right? Keeping our bones strong. So if we didn't happen to catch ourselves and we did fall, we don't break a bone. Like it's kind of like preventative medicine. I see the practice in that way.
And I was curious, just even over your time having this practice and getting involved in these health and wellness part, do you feel like that was something that was going on in Japan? But what about in terms of the U.S.? Do you think it's gained more popularity over time, whether from the 90s, 2000s, and into today?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely been more popular. You've seen that.
In both countries. I mean, I saw Tokyo explode with yoga. Went from 4 studios to like 4,000, like really no exaggeration, and billboards of people doing yoga. And, you know, it completely changed while I was there, since I was there for such a long time. And then in the US, in terms of, let's say, from a food perspective, since I was a vegetarian at such a young age, you know, it's changed so much, the way people eat, the different offerings. When I was young, it was very hard to find vegetarian restaurants, vegan restaurants. And now you can really just find that anywhere. People actually even know what a vegan is, right? Yes. So even that type of thing. I mean, information is so much more widespread as well. But I do feel that people are taking more interest in optimizing their health. I feel like the younger generation is more interested in health and wellness now. I think I was a little bit of an outlier at that time when I was young. Yeah, and there is also this idea now of longevity and prevention. So I find that not only do people want to be healthy at a base level, these days, I feel like people want to be even a step above that, right? So that's sort of that preventative part I was speaking about.
No, definitely. Yeah. And you're also a co-host of Ecstatic Dance East End, which is quite unique. Can you explain what ecstatic dance is and how it fits into your overall wellness philosophy?
Sure. Yes. So I co-produce Ecstatic Dance with my business partner, Mary Conyat, also known as Mary Tonic. And ecstatic dance is essentially free-form movement. I mentioned earlier that I love to dance. Yoga and Pilates are such prescribed practices. You have such precision in your movement. You're looking for alignment. And ecstatic dance, it's just free form. You just move your body however you want. And movement is medicine, right? So the idea is to come to the dance floor, just however you're feeling, come as you are. So it is a wellness event in that sense. There's no alcohol, no drugs. It's, again, come as you are. On the dance floor, generally ecstatic dance is a worldwide movement. So any city you go to in the world, you could just look at ecstaticdance.org and you could find a place to go dance with others in this way. So we are just one part of this huge organization, and these general rules are the same. So no drugs, no alcohol, no shoes on the dance floor, really to encourage you to really feel the earth, feel through your feet. We make exceptions, of course. If somebody needs some support, you are definitely more than welcome to our dances. No phones on the dance floor. So again, really encouraging you to be in the present moment. Also, generally with the phones, people would be using them as cameras and videotaping, right? And other people who are on the dance floor, we're trying to encourage people to move however they like. Unlike dance that's choreography where you're trying to dance to look pretty or cool or, something, yes. Or, maybe you're expressing anger. I don't know. Maybe you're expressing something else, but it's very choreographed. This is really just however you want to move. And, if someone's videotaping you, you might start to feel self-conscious, which is the complete opposite of ecstatic dance. It's really about just freeing movement in your body. And the other thing is no talking on the dance floor.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Just being with your own self, moving around and...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, really being with yourself and seeing how you feel like moving. We usually have about a 2-hour DJ set, but we do it at Breeze Hill Farm. So there's a fire pit outside with Adirondack chairs. You can go, take a break, come back to the dance floor. Of course, we encourage people to stay on the dance floor if you can, because it really can be very transformative to dance for that long. It's kind of this feeling like you're energized. You're also a little tired, but energized. We end with a sound healing, so you can really ground that energy. I should say, too, that at our event and at a lot of events, we do have an opening. So we set an intention. Mary does breath work. So you start to first connect with your breath. I lead movement, or we have another facilitator come in and lead movement. So if you're a little bit shy about just like stepping out and starting to move, you've already been moving with this group of people for 20, 30 minutes before the freeform dance starts.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a whole program, hopefully leading to people feeling more energized, more grounded, transforming any emotions that they felt like they need to release, any stress. Yeah.
When did you officially with your partner start it?
Oh, so this is our second season. Our first season was 2024, summer season, since we're not outside. We're in the Quonset hut, if you're familiar with Breeze Hill Farm. It's open on each end, which is really nice. And when you're looking at the DJ, you see the apple trees behind them. And so this is our second season. We have our last dance of the season coming up on October 12th, Columbus Day weekend. It's on that Sunday from 4 to 8. So... yeah, if you're interested,
yes,
please come.
And when you first started it, in your first season, how did people respond to it initially? Were they not sure how to get involved in it and just it took some time, or were people really engaged to get into the ecstatic dance?
Yeah, we've had a good turnout. People have been interested. People who say, oh, I love to dance, but I never have an opportunity to go dancing. Or I love to dance, but I don't like to go out late at night. Or in my case, I love to dance, but I don't want to drive to Brooklyn every time I want to dance.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of a selfish motive there, because normally I would go to ecstatic dance in Brooklyn or New York City. And so it's nice to be able to do it really right down the road. I would say that a lot of my Pilates students have been really interested in finding out what it is. People who are into movement in general, people who are into music. It is electronic music. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's a wide range of music within the genre of electronic. Lots of different like ethnic beats, world beats. We have a live drummer. Mary's husband, Ronnie, does live percussion with the DJ. So it's such a nice blend of having that electronic, but then also having that like human energy with the drums, with the percussion. And the Ecstatic Dance DJ set is not like a club DJ set where you might just have one genre, which is the same beats per minute. It's very predictable. This is more like a wave. So the ecstatic dance starts very slowly. So you're just warming up in your body. And then there'll be maybe 1 or 2 peaks where the music gets faster and you feel the more energetic, beats. And then it'll come back down and slow down again before you then go into a sound healing. Where it's almost like a shavasana in yoga, where you're laying on your yoga mat and you're letting the sound come through you.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that sounds really interesting. And now, how important do you think community connection and creative expression are for overall health?
Yeah. Well, I see overall health as holistic, right? So if you were to imagine maybe a circle and you just broke the circle up into a pie, right? You would have the usual things that you think of: food, exercise, sleep, stress. Maybe those are some of the main ones. But personally, I think that relationships and community fits in there, whether that's family or friends. Creative expression, as you mentioned. For me, if I was making that type of chart for myself of my overall wellness, I would have that in there. And for me, it would probably be dance as creative expression. That would be different things for other people. But another thing that I like to put on that holistic page of wellness is play. Sometimes as adults, we forget to really just go out and have fun. So I think that ecstatic dance definitely checks that box. And for some people, being in the present moment, that's a meditative space. So it might even check the box of a spiritual experience of really just being with yourself and the moment and the music and the sound. And
No, definitely.
Yeah. So I think they all kind of are equal in what they bring to our overall wellness, having a balance of all of these things.
No, definitely. And now with some of your classes, Pilates or some coaching session, how would you describe someone that might be interested in it, but how would you describe your type of session within that class you're teaching, for example, like a Pilates class?
Well, for Pilates class, I teach Pilates in a lot of different studios, and I have different styles in each studio. But in general, I would say if you're interested in Pilates, if there are levels, first of all, just come to a level 1. Learn the basics. I also teach privates. So some people who are a little bit intimidated to come to a group class will do 5 sessions with me. We'll go over the fundamentals of the movement, the principles of Pilates. And then they feel like, okay, I can move at a little bit of a quicker pace. It also gives people an opportunity to just ask questions right in the middle of a session, right? It's just 2 people. If you're in a class, you're not going to yell out a question.
Yes.
So doing privates first is one way to get into it. But of course, everyone's welcome to come to a class and just come as you are and slowly work towards progressing the practice with any type of new activity that you do. Of course, patience is key, knowing that, learning a new skill takes time. Yeah, I would say that, to anyone who is interested, again, just try it.
Yes.
Yes. I feel like I'm very open to beginners. And I'm very welcoming to beginners. There's no pressure to jump into any kind of advanced poses, or honestly to do anything that doesn't feel good in your body. I'm always inviting people to take a rest if they need to take a rest, and join in on the next thing that feels good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And are there any particular challenges or transformations you often see among your clients?
Well, I would say in terms of, challenges are pretty unique, right?
Yes.
We all have very unique bodies coming into the practice, maybe previous injuries, or maybe there are conditions, right? So yeah, and we all have strengths and weaknesses too within the body. So that, I would say, the challenges are unique for people. And because it kind of depends what they do every day, right?
Yes.
If you sit hunched over every day and you come in and I have you try to work your upper back muscles, it's going to be challenging.
Yes.
And then for transformations, actually, that's a good lead into transformations is I feel like people stand up taller. Strengthening the upper back opens across the chest. So people's posture really tends to improve with Pilates. And then when you have better posture and your chest is open, that means you're breathing deeper, your lungs are more freed up, right? So you can get better breath, blood oxygen. There's, so many benefits. But yes, in terms of transformation, working, let's say, on the reformer, which is a piece of Pilates equipment, we have different spring tension that we use for different exercises. So it is easy to tell when you're progressing and getting stronger in an exercise, because one day you'll feel like, oh, she's offering a blue spring if you want to go lighter, a red spring if you want to try this exercise harder. And one day you try the harder and you're like, oh, I got this. Like, I've now progressed. So for the transformation, you can, especially again with the machine, but even on the mat, you'll try an exercise and you'll be tired by repetition 10. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, I got this. Or she offered a challenge and I did it.
Yes.
So I have seen those progressions. I have a very loyal following at the Giving Room. We've been practicing together for 3 years. And some of these more advanced mat exercises, like a roll up, I'm like, wow, like almost the majority of my class is now rolling up off the floor using their abs. And it's really impressive and great. And, as people get older, God forbid they were to fall, again, you need to be able to get up off the floor. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I think, and it probably can vary just personally for everyone, the timing on how long it takes for them to improve with their body on certain aspects. It probably varies.
It does vary.
Yeah.
If you were to ask Joseph Pilates, who is no longer with us, but the founder, he says that after 20 sessions, you can see a difference in your body. So, but he doesn't really specify like how many days a week is that, right?
Yes.
Certainly not 20 sessions in a year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you continue to provide these classes and wellness sessions for people, but for you personally, how do you stay motivated and inspired in your own wellness journey and career, focusing on yourself?
Yeah, I love movement and I love the practice myself. So I subscribe to a few different Pilates channels. And I rent a space at Underground Training where I have a reformer. So I do my own classes. I choose different topics, different things that I want to practice and feel in my own body. When I have a chance, I like to go to classes. I just went on vacation to Nantucket and I took 1 to 2 classes a day, usually 2 classes a day. That was my vacation. I found it so fun. I find it inspiring to see how other people teach. Even sometimes just the subtlest cue of an exercise I've done a million times and someone just says something a little bit different and I feel it in my body and I get excited to share it with my students. Also, I do, in the winter, I do different trainings. So I love doing like a long weekend of Pilates. With health and wellness coaching, I have my CEUs, my continuing education units that I have to maintain in order to keep my accreditation. So I always have, one foot in that as well in terms of taking some type of course on making change. It's usually about making change. That's a lot about the health and wellness coaching field. So yeah, a lot of continuing education.
Yes. And looking ahead, what are your goals or dreams for your work in the wellness community here in the next few years?
Well, I would like to start coaching more clients, local clients in the field of health and wellness, specifically on the changes they want to make. Nothing that I want to tell them that you should do this. It's like you have an idea of a change you want to make. You've been having trouble doing it. That's where a health and wellness coach can really come in and help you to have greater self-awareness about why you're not succeeding. Look at your strengths. How can we use these strengths to get you to succeed, boost your motivation? Again, I spoke about accountability. The health and wellness coaching client relationship it's not infinite like therapy can be, for example. It's like, let's work on this goal together. Let's set a time and let's try to get there. And then maybe do some follow-ups if we need to. But it's really about working together towards a goal. So that's one thing that I would like to do more of. Let's see. In the Pilates realm, this summer I had a benefit for a Pilates student of mine who's a caretaker. His daughter is immune compromised, so he can only take private lessons. And we did a benefit to raise money for him to continue Pilates for a whole year. And the community was so supportive. People really, we thought that maybe we would raise money for about 6 months, and we were able to do that for a whole year.
Wow.
So I'd like to make that an annual thing and keep him going, keep him strong so that he can be the best caregiver that he can be. So that I'd like to do annually. I want to continue with Ecstatic Dance East End and try to get even more people excited about dancing. We really would like to establish a dance community. We have some people who really make it a priority to put our dance on their calendar and come every month it's a short season, but come every month and dance together. It's really nice when you start to see the same people on the dance floor. So I would like to see that grow and to see people prioritize that. Let's see, what else? Well, I also have started speaking to some yoga friends in Japan about possibly doing a retreat to Japan. That would really combine two things that I love, which is traveling and Japanese culture.
Yes.
Yes. So thinking about maybe I'm not sure if that would be 2026 or 2027, but in the next few years, working to make that happen. And potentially, a lot of students have been asking me to offer some of my classes online since we are, we're such a seasonal town and some people are leaving now to go wherever, or they leave in the winter and they're appreciating my teaching and want to continue. So that might be a goal of mine as well. Feel a little intimidated about making videos, but
yes, that would be a whole nother thing you could do. But at least right now, you continue to teach in person throughout the year.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mentioned I teach at the Giving Room. I also teach reformer classes at Greenport Pilates Yoga and Wellness, which is a new Pilates studio that we have in Greenport. And it seems that the community just loves having Pilates in town. So it's such a great opportunity for me to share Pilates practice. I also teach hot Pilates at Karuna. So
you have a busy schedule.
I do. Very busy schedule. Luckily, all close to home.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think I had one other question. Just, I guess, how long have you been out here?
Oh, I moved to Greenport in 2016.
2016.
So, next May, it will be 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I really thought I was coming here just for one summer.
Yes.
To work in a restaurant and be like, how am I going to transition to life in America? And and then here I am. I think because people kept saying, oh, you're going to love it here in fall. And then they'd be like, oh, but you're going to love it here in winter. It's really quiet and still nice. And I go to the beach all 4 seasons to walk on the beach. So, here I am.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And then I think I'd just like to ask at the end if there were, I think we covered quite a bit, but was there anything else you'd like to say or discuss that we haven't talked about?
Thank you. It feels pretty comprehensive to me. Yes. Yeah, I think we covered a lot, and I appreciate this time and this opportunity to speak with you.
No, definitely. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on today and share your story and bringing your expertise in health and wellness out here on the North Fork. So thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed episode 172 with Stacey Krumenacker. I want to thank you for listening to the Floyd Memorial Library podcast, and we'll see you next time.